Welcome to Trash Talk. I'm Lane.
I'm D.
And I'm Ryan.
We're minus Chase Grape because he is sick right now, but it's a happy new year. He's not kicked off the podcast. He'll be back.
He'll be back.
He's got that brown bottle fever he's suffering from right now.
Yeah, well, it's only, the day after New Year's. You'd think he'd be able to answer the phone.
I'll do my best to fill in. I'll be my bestest Chase, if I can.
Yeah, you can. You will.
Should we have
definitely
Ryan read his last text? It's probably from me.
Actually, yeah, it is.
Well, I just got a last text from him. It says kids are here.
That's why he's sick.
Yeah, that's why he's sick. He's sick and his kids are
Sick
there.
of his kids.
That's funny.
His kids are awesome.
That is true. Well, you know what? Oh, well. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Feliz Navidad.
All the listeners out there, go ahead and email us at trashtalkomaha@gmail.com. This is the year we're going to get an email.
From someone besides me.
This is it.
No, we've gotten a few emails, but we definitely need to get more. I want to start, doing, a Dear Abby, where we answer people's love letters or...
That shit's funny. That'd be fun.
Yeah, give people, solid advice or whatever.
I think we need some Facebook stalkers.
Yeah, well, we always need more stalkers. So, how was your guys' Christmas?
It was pretty good. I didn't overeat, and I got a kick-ass Lego set, so...
Yeah.
Great.
Nice.
Oh,
And the Chiefs got the number 2 seed in the NFL playoffs, so...
We're going to talk about that. Don't worry. Get ahead of yourself. Ryan, how about you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I just did the family thing. Opened a bunch of my kids' gifts.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing now.
So you got gifts.
Got that almost 2-year-old, so he's the one that gets all the gifts now.
Did he get Legos?
No, but he got some building blocks,
ones that are age appropriate for to just
yeah.
put it in his mouth and choke to death.
We're probably 3-4 years away from some serious Legos, but
You got to be mindful of the age.
I mean,
that
he got a 4-wheeler with a backhoe on it, so he he can.
He's hauling some ass.
Yeah, and he's got all the buttons. The one with the horn, the one that starts the.
Is he liking them?
Oh yeah, he loves the shit out of it.
Nice.
Do you guys put a mop under the holler and just have him go around the kitchen and stuff and clean up?
That's funny. As he gets a little bit more coordinated, might have to do that.
Yeah, some Swiffer wet wipes.
Exactly. But yeah, outside of that, I didn't overeat either. And my 49ers got the number 1 seed. So,
wow.
I mean,
hey,
I didn't mean to one up you there, D.
It totally was, though.
AFC's tougher.
Dude, it's nothing to balk at. I mean, number 2, number 1 seed hashtag first round bye. So
yeah,
we did beat the number 1 seed in the AFC Ravens though in the regular season. So it's good.
But you think you feel confident about it?
We would meet them in the AFC Championship.
What week was that again?
4.
Yes.
When
they started 2-2, we gave them their last loss.
When Mahomes was still healthy and when Lamar was figuring it out.
Yeah.
When they figured it out. First games before that.
They didn't have Marcus Peters yet on defense.
Have they announced MVP?
No, not yet.
No, he'll get it.
That'll be pretty close to Super Bowl time.
Oh, okay. I thought for the regular season. Did they wait for the playoffs?
I think so. For MVP. I think so. I could be wrong. I'm wrong.
So the playoffs could factor into MVP?
They might do a lot of those announcements the week of the Super Bowl and stuff.
I think so. That's what I think is what happens.
Yeah,
but
that's when they had the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, the week before.
People didn't go do anything else.
But yeah, it's probably going to be Lamar. I can't really see anyone else right now that's playing out of their gourd as crazy as he is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, probably Drew Brees. And if Lamar Jackson's not doing what he's doing, what Drew Brees does.
He missed so many games with his hand injury, thumb.
Right. But he's been insane, since coming back. And
it's kind of good for their team in a way, though, because last year he definitely faded down the stretch, getting old man tired. But, he missed a third of the season
this year,
effectively. So he probably is not nearly as wore down as he was last year.
Right. And I might be contradicting myself now because now that I think about it, Teddy Bridgewater came in and actually played pretty well and kept them, in the hunt. They didn't dip at all. So maybe Drew Brees wouldn't be that big of a MVP choice. A lot of people are probably screaming at me at Patrick Mahomes. But
You didn't say Garoppolo?
no.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes is an MVP candidate now.
Yeah.
No,
Compared to
Garoppolo's
Mahomes last
good.
year.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's a travesty that Garoppolo's not listed in the MVP category, but I think he's just a good enough quarterback to where he can be as good as he is now, and it's just fine. He doesn't. If he's going to be an MVP candidate, sweet, but where he is right now, it's certainly got us in a good standing.
But you think he's there to carry you to the Super Bowl?
I think in a couple more years
loss?
he could be if he has more time in.
So
the
you
system,
don't think he
could
can
be.
win the Super Bowl?
Oh, this year, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well,
All right.
I said this. I think the last time I was on your podcast that Baltimore needs. We'd like Baltimore on either any field. It doesn't matter, but one that's not sopping wet. Because I don't think they can stop us in the passing game.
Yeah.
Marcus Peters is good. Earl Thomas is.
You can
dope.
burn Marcus Peters though.
Yeah.
He gives up some plays
Yeah.
because he's a big play machine. Like either you're getting a big play on him or he's making a big play.
And they're going to be so keyed in on our run game to stop it that our wide receivers, since Emmanuel Sanders has joined, and you have Debo Samuel, that's a rookie that's really coming on, and then the best tight end in the game, George Kittle.
He didn't even crack 1,000 yards this year.
He doesn't have to. He's the best blocker, and no one can tackle him. I mean, have you seen how he?
There's more to tight end than blocking.
Oh yeah, exactly.
He catches?
Oh man,
He might be the best blocking tight end, but yeah, he's really good at catching.
Is he really going to win?
He's really good.
He's the best tight end?
He's really good at
he is.
everything. He's got really good overall game.
I mean, the top two right now, Travis Kelce and George Kittle,
Really?
and then it's everyone else.
Yeah, because Gronk wasn't in it.
Kelsey, I think, is hands down the best receiving tight end. I
More
wouldn't say he's the
yards.
best blocker. He's underrated. He's especially really good when he gets moving and can block more downfield. But he just had the first tight end ever to have 1,200 yards plus back-to-back seasons and quickest to 500 catches. I mean, he's more receiver than tight end. He's just a huge motherfucker, though.
And then he's benefited from having Mahomes the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he was great with
pass.
Alex, but Mahomes,
Actually,
threw
it's
the
a fair
ball
point.
more.
He was really good with Alex too.
Yeah, he had, I think, back-to-back 1,000 yards with Alex, and then
Wow.
then 1,200 each year with Mahomes.
I think last year Kittle broke the record for most receiving yards by a tight end. Literally a week after Travis Kelce did it. Kelce broke the record, then Kittle got him the last week of last season.
So they're just going to go back and forth.
So
then?
I think it's just pretty much them two and no one else. Just each one being the best of the bunch, pretty much.
I want to see the Niners and Chiefs play.
That would be dope. There'd be a lot to talk about. We could bring a couple Chiefs fans on here. I'd probably be the only Niner fan you'd find. But
Yeah.
I have a Niner fan.
I've known
guy I
people
work
that like
with.
the Niners.
awesome.
He was at the movie.
Oh,
Star
was he?
Wars, yeah.
Okay.
My buddy Jerome.
Well, shout out to
He grew up
Jerome.
in
The Niners.
San Fran, around that area.
Okay. Yeah, I can't say that. I'm only a fan because they had Tom Rathman and Roger Craig in their backfield at the same time when I was a kid, when we were kids. So I was hooked from pretty much then on. I was like, oh, they've got an all-Nebraska backfield. And then it pretty much catapulted me into being a Jerry Rice fan. Because
Of course.
that's my number one athlete outside of Leo Messi is Jerry
Well,
Rice.
wasn't he the number one athlete, though?
I mean, for the longest time, he was considered the best football player of all time. But I'm sure there's been better receivers since him, but didn't accumulate the stats that he did.
Well, he
Yeah,
was just
back
good
in the
for
day.
15 years.
Well, it helps when you have
Shit,
Joe
when he
Montana
was-
throwing to him.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
age
Steve
38
Young.
though with the Raiders when he went to the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
he had 1,200 yards that year, 10 touchdowns
damn
or
near.
something.
Yeah, because what's his face was throwing him the ball? Brad Johnson,
No, the Raiders. Rich Gannon.
Rich Gannon. There it is. Yes,
Championships. They got rid of him.
I was gonna
to put
say
in
they-
Elvis Grbac.
pretty. Yeah,
It's very controversial. We lost. What should have been a Super Bowl season that year.
Wow. Still bitter about it?
Every Chiefs fan is, dude.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that the closest?
Elvis Gerbach went down with injury.
Yeah.
Gerbach went 8-1 or something as a starter, took us to the playoffs, and then
you
Gerbach
guys
was suddenly
signed-
healthy.
Because you went and signed another San Francisco quarterback.
Yeah.
So
Because, hey, it worked out for Joe Montana.
Montana.
You may as well go
Yeah.
try to get Elvis Gerbach because
Yeah.
he was never going to supplant Steve Young
was that the last time they were that close?
up until probably the last
The
couple
90s
years.
was the
maybe.
last time, they've been as good as they have been recently, was during the 90s.
So when was that though? 70s?
No, that was like
No.
95 or 6 or something like that.
Yeah, wasn't it after Montana?
Yeah.
When did
already
Montana-
left?
Montana
so it would have
play?
definitely been like 96, 97 then. In that
When did
era.
Montana play for the Chiefs?
93 and 94.
Oh,
Yep.
geez, he was
93
around for that
and 4, I
long?
think. That's right. Just 2 years, 93
Just,
and 4.
yeah,
Yeah, I
he
didn't
retired
really-
after the 94 season. The
I
90
know
was it the 93 year that you damn near made it to the AFC Championship game?
We went at least to one AFC Championship game with Montana.
Or no, yeah, you almost made it to the Super Bowl with
I don't
with
remember
old
who
Joe.
Yeah.
Was that when he wore
That
the
was
pimp
when you
coat?
lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, because I think that was the year
They went
old
to
when Dallas played Pittsburgh and Neil O'Donnell liked throwing it to that safety who played for Dallas like over and over. Yeah. Anyway, I think that was the year. You guys should have probably beaten Pittsburgh that year. And
I think we had one crazy loss to the Colts where it was like we missed our field goal kicker that year was like the number one field goal kicker the entire year. And then we played the Colts and he missed like 3 or 4 field goals in that game. We only lost by a point, I think.
Wow.
Our defense for like a good 3 years or so was just insanely good.
Well, do you think there's like a Kansas City curse
I think Mahomes has broken that curse.
because you won the first Super Bowl ever? You'll never win another.
We haven't had like a real franchise quarterback
oh, okay.
really outside of Len Dawson in the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
It was one of the Bills years. You guys lost to the Bills 13-6.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
You sound
Was that
so
with,
disappointed.
You beat
With Montana?
Yeah, that was with Montana. You guys beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the wild card game, 12 to. What was the score?
I think the second year we had Montana, I'm pretty sure that was the year that we were expected to go to the Super Bowl, and we had a crazy loss. And I think it might have even been in the. Well, we would have had the number one overall seed. They didn't have bye weeks back in the day, I don't think.
That's a good question. They still had a wild card back in '93.
I think they only had like one wild card though, didn't they?
Yeah, it wasn't 4 like it is now.
Yeah,
Or it's 2,
they've
isn't it?
added a
Sorry.
team or something since.
To make it even.
Unless it might have. Well, they had didn't they create a whole new division when they brought in all those teams really quickly? You had the Jaguars and the Panthers, and then they got the Texans.
Redistributed. They had the same divisions.
Those-
They just redistributed them. So like Houston ended up they got booted into a different division.
I know
that didn't
Seattle
make
left the
sense.
AFC West and then went to
Correct.
the
NFC West. Yep, exactly.
When was that?
It's in the 90s, I think, late 90s.
There was a bunch of
It
new
was
teams?
when Jacksonville and Carolina got
Which
added
was like
in
95 or
'95.
6. Yeah.
Huh.
And that's why they had the flashy colors.
What about the Texans? 'Cause
Texans?
They were
moved.
2000.
Wasn't that like the
2,
newest
maybe?
team? Newest new team or whatever?
I think they are the newest team in the NFL, Texans.
What else?
Oh, did you ask when the Texans were
Yeah,
created?
2002, I think,
No.
or something like that.
Oh, wow.
When?
Yeah.
That's right.
I just wondered the newest team that was created.
I think
No,
that was
I think it
Texans.
would have been.
I mean,
yeah, it was
technically-
before I went to college, and I knew that because I just couldn't remember the year. It was 1999 when the Houston Texans were born.
Oh, that was 99. Okay, wow.
I just remember watching King of the Hill at the
Shit,
time.
20 years ago.
And
I know, right?
Boomhauer was a fan of Texans.
Yeah,
And they all freaked out. They were like,
Boomhauer.
oh, we're Cowboys.
right. We're a Cowboys town.
But what about Tom Landry?
That's a really good one. That's a good impression.
All right, so you guys are supporting your teams in the NFL. Who else is going to... Oh, wait, before we talk about current, what are the oldest teams in the NFL? Or in...
Bears, Packers,
Bears, Packers,
Giants,
Steelers.
Vikings.
Colts are pretty old. Browns.
Vikings.
Browns are very
Steelers.
Chiefs were in the first AFC Championship.
Chiefs, but they
the
were
NFC was
formed in,
first, right?
They were the original Texans, technically.
Correct.
And I think the Chiefs became the Chiefs in 64 or something like that.
Because there's some teams that have never changed anything.
Yeah.
Well, the Cowboys used to be the Dallas Texans. Then they changed their name to the Cowboys.
Yeah, but there's like the Giants have always been the New York Giants, right?
Well, no.
There's some teams that have had different names, like the Bears.
They used to be the Titans.
Who?
The Giants.
Really?
They used to be called the Titans. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some different names some teams have had.
Those throwback jerseys that New York, the Giants.
Steelers
Maybe I'm
wear,
thinking of the
they were
Jets.
those Steelers throwbacks.
Maybe it's the Jets that used to be the Titans. My bad. It is. Sorry, not the Giants.
Okay. Well, because there's some teams that like used to be champions or whatever back in the day before the Super Bowl was created, and they had to like throw out their titles when they created the Super Bowl or something.
Well,
the
they
NFL
don't throw
has
them
never
out.
changed. The AFC just merged under the
NFL
NFL
marker.
umbrella. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, teams like Kansas City and Chicago can all claim titles as NFL championships. Or
I don't think that Kansas City never. They only had the one Super Bowl they won.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. There's
But,
other
like, the
teams.
Browns
But-
had a shit ton of titles.
Yeah, and they were just NFL championships, right?
Yeah,
because it was the
Packers
NFL
the
and the
same way.
AFL
Before the
and then the
AFL.
AFL came in together and formed the AFC basically.
Yeah.
Then the Packers, they had Title Town. They won a shit ton of titles, and then when the NFL became as we know it now, they still won a bunch
Since then.
early on, and then they've had a couple since then now. But
Well, I just remember hearing that, like, the Patriots can claim the most Super Bowl titles, but it's like actually these other teams have been winning, more championships or whatever throughout the years.
Yeah, like you said, the Browns.
Yeah.
yeah, when they had Jim Brown,
but they've got just NFL, and that's what they were
And the-
called back then. Were just NFL.
And the Browns have never won a Super Bowl, probably.
Shit, dude, no.
Wow.
And they haven't even been to the playoffs for 16 years now.
Jesus.
Yeah. Fired their coach after 1 year. Good job.
Yeah. Good. We could talk about the NFL a little bit more. Like the Packers.
Yeah. We used to have the kids in my high school used to have this saying back in the day. It was the Chiefs versus the Packers. And that was code for going to smoke a bowl. You guys gonna go
Really?
watch the Chiefs versus the Packers tonight?
Yeah. Someone's
Yeah.
going to pack and
Yeah,
Chief.
someone was gonna. Yeah, that was when we were gonna get together and smoke weed. Not me, because I didn't even smoke at that age. But
Yeah. Well, I always liked the idea of
Code.
taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
that's a good one.
Is you have to go take a dump.
Another good euphemism.
Yeah. One of the things you do as children.
Right.
But you guys don't like the Packers?
I think they have a chance, but I don't trust them. Not in the playoffs this year.
Well, it's neat that they finally have a defense, but yeah, I'm not sure they're gonna. I mean, go past maybe that second round.
I think there's a good chance they're going to get the Saints, right? And
Yeah.
I think the Saints would smoke them.
Yeah, it'll be one of those 49ers Saints games where each team scores like 35, 40 points.
That'd be wild.
Yeah, and I think New Orleans wins that shootout because # Michael Thomas. I mean, Michael Thomas burnt the shit out of the Niners when we played him and won 47-45 or whatever that was. Like Michael Thomas is hard to stop. Are we getting someone on the line?
Yeah, I think we got a caller here.
In a way.
Are you the caller?
Someone's calling.
Hello.
Hello?
Welcome to
The Trash Talk. What's going on?
Welcome to Trash Talk. Not much. Ready to talk some football.
There you go.
Yeah, we hear you you like the Packers.
What do I think of the Packers?
That's your team, right?
No, we heard you. We heard you like the Packers, James. This is Ryan, by the way. What's up, buddy?
Hello. The Packers are amazing.
They are.
So we're thinking.
Okay.
I think we're in agreement that the Saints are going to play the Packers. I mean, do you honestly think the Packers will beat the Saints?
No. But I hope they do.
Hey, at least you're honest about it.
But hey,
Yeah.
your defense might actually do some things this time around.
Yeah, you guys are a good
Well, I
team.
mean, the saving grace is we get a bye, right? Anything can happen in the Vikings game. They could get hurt. A lot of stuff could happen. The other thing is, it's at Lambeau Field. It'll be like 10 degrees outside. If it's windy at all, the Saints' offense really is the most successful when timing is perfect.
Right.
And they're used to playing in a dome. So, I mean,
Have you looked ahead at the Green Bay weather for next weekend?
yeah, I mean, the last time I looked, it's a high of 25, low of 2.
Oh man, that's
Right.
balmy.
And
But
James
that
is a
could
former
change.
weatherman for the military.
That's also true.
That's
That's also true.
So important. So
It's
important.
an
to
important
keep in mind.
caveat in
Yeah,
this
he's
conversation.
not sounding very confident right now. I'm sorry, James.
Well, I mean,
I'd like to say that I feel for you, but
You're not betting on the Packers, apparently.
I would not. No. But
any given Sunday.
yeah, I mean, the Vikings could beat the Saints. It absolutely could. I think Tennessee is going to beat the Patriots. So
Yeah.
I think Tennessee's going to beat them
Yeah.
too, and I'd rather play the Patriots as a Chiefs fan right now.
yeah. So I mean, if I had to guess, I'm guessing that San Francisco will probably come out of the NFC, but that's why they play the games, right? I mean,
Right.
the year, I think it was 2011, the Packers went 15-1. The only loss that year was
To the
the
Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. And there was no doubt in my mind we were going to the Super Bowl and winning it that year. And we got beat by the Giants in our first playoff game. So
Giants went on though to win the Super Bowl that year, though.
they did. So, they could get hot. But the way they look right now versus the Saints, I don't think so. I just don't see it. But I have all the hope in the world, man. I hope we make it. That's all I got to say.
Hope's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing, man.
Well, especially after the Wisconsin game yesterday, huh?
Well, they kind of pissed down their own leg. You turned the ball over 4 times, including one time where the punter basically handed the ball off to the defender, and you scored a touchdown.
Yeah, that play basically
It's pretty
gave
tough
that.
to beat anybody, but the fact that they have a chance,
Yeah.
I mean,
What about that PI?
the offensive pass interference, I'm pretty raw about it, if you want my honest opinion. But again,
I
I
don't
was
blame you.
pissed at the moment, and if you were in my basement, you would have thought that was the end of the world. That's one call. That changed the whole game, right? Now,
Did you
Oh,
already
yeah.
have a therapy
It
session
really
or
did.
something?
I mean, it ended the game, essentially. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you
I'm not
turn the
even a
ball
fan,
over
and I
4
was
times-
upset about that shit.
I'm sorry, Ryan, what did you say?
No, I said I'm not even a fan, and I was upset about that shit. Like that was
That
pretty
was
dumb
just a
call.
bad call.
Oh, yeah.
Nebraska fans would have rioted if that had been Nebraska.
There may have been riots in Madison, I'm not sure. I
Yeah. But,
haven't checked the news, so maybe it's all burnt out.
well, I just feel like there's been some bad calls in a lot of games. Ohio State kind
I
of
think
got...
officiating is wild this year. I mean, even both college and, like you said, that Ohio State fumble, the phantom incomplete. I mean, that guy had
Right.
took 4 steps. That was a fumble.
Yeah. Yeah. And it feels like a lot of the games come down to one call. There's always that call you go back to.
Which is sad instead of one play.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's a good way
Yeah,
of
but I
looking
mean,
at
the
it.
Badgers and Badgers fans can bitch and moan, just like I will. But at the end of the day, when you turn the ball for 4 times, you're probably going to lose. I mean,
And you still only lose by one.
And to be fair, man, you at 3 turnovers, you still had your foot on their throat. Like until that fumble by number 6 on that end around,
Yeah.
like they were on the ropes. You guys were okey doking them with that outside sweep game, and they were. It finally opened up the door for JT to finally make some moves, and then that happened. It was like a trap door.
well, not only did that happen, but the very next play,
No, yeah,
30-yard quarterback run for a touchdown.
Yeah, and that stiff arm was mighty postery for my taste.
Yeah, it was pretty salty. I'm glad he got late hitting in the end zone. I was pretty happy.
That's
At least he got
funny.
dicked right at the end, yeah, for what it's
Because
worth.
it didn't
Not to
matter.
be a poor sport, but that was awesome.
That's funny. That was probably the game I saw like the most kind of back and forth shoves going on, you know? Not that much
Yeah,
this
they get-
year.
Yeah, they get salty at the end.
Well, it'll happen.
Yeah, that was kind of a bad beat, 3 to 4 turnovers aside. That was still a pretty bad beat considering how well you guys had them.
I mean, man, yeah, it sucked. But
Yeah.
I hope Jonathan Taylor comes back. But I mean, if I was his parents, I would say go to the NFL.
Go buy us a new house.
Man, I'd be praying to every god I know about if I had, an
Keep
opportunity
his
to get
ankle
him back.
safe.
Well, and have JT come back. That'd be great.
Yeah.
It's horrible for the rest of us, but it'd be great for Wisconsin, that's for sure.
True.
Sure. I just look at the all-time rushing leader. Like, if he had another 2,000-yard game, like, he would be the leader by, I don't know, 1,300 yards or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
he doesn't even have to play a full season next year, and he breaks Ron Dane's record. That's how crazy of a running back he is.
Yeah.
And people have him listed third in the draft prospects at running back, like the third best
What?
running back.
Other
Yeah.
running backs ahead of him?
Right. I mean, you could probably make an argument with J.K. Dobbins, but you start telling me that dude DeAndre Swift from Georgia is ahead of JT, you can get the fuck out.
No.
Well, especially with the Big Ten defenses, where
Right?
Yeah.
that's all they look for is running backs. 8 men in the box most of the time.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
JT was still house calling people with 10 men in the box.
Sure. So what are you guys thinking for the NFL playoffs? Have you guys talked about what you think is going to happen and who's going to Super Bowl?
I'll let Derek go first.
Well, we think the Saints are going to lose or beat the Packers.
Jesus.
Just straight up. Just tell him right away.
I think the Eagles
Yeah.
got a shot at the Seahawks. If the Seahawks get out of there, and I think they should beat the Eagles, that's, I think, the Niners' worst case scenario. Earlier, I told Lane I think the Seahawks could beat the Niners and take on the Packers or the Saints in the NFC Championship. And I got to go with my homeboys, the Chiefs, and the Mahomies in the AFC against the Ravens. But as a Chiefs fan, I'd rather play the Patriots than the Titans right now. The Titans got the right formula to beat the Chiefs.
That's Tannehill. He just slings the rock, man. That might be one of the most fun teams to watch, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the Ravens and the Niners in the Super Bowl.
There's a petition right now to have Ryan Fitzpatrick do the big KC drum to start the game off in their next game because he's the guy that beat the Patriots from Miami.
Yeah, that's funny. He should.
They had something like 35,000 plus last time I checked that signed the petition.
That's great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm all about the 49ers making that run all the way, playing the Ravens as well. I think the Chiefs give the Ravens a hell of a game. That's probably going to be the most exciting game of the playoffs, in my opinion.
I hope it comes down
That'd
to
be
that. That would be a really
shootout,
fun
won't
one.
it? Just
Yeah.
shoot out.
And that's saying something because the Niners, if we get the Saints again, we've already went 98 points in one game. Let's
That,
do.
again, that was in the dome.
Yeah,
right?
and that was in the.
That's right. When you get them outside and you put them on draft, they become a little bit different teams.
It's true. It's true.
But they went to Tennessee, should have gotten beat, and then they went explosive in the second half.
Right.
They're like the most mysterious team outside of their home. Like if they got home field advantage, it'd be really difficult to beat the New Orleans Saints. And
Yeah.
New Orleans.
Yeah, and they've already shown that when they get the first round bye, they're basically Super Bowl bound at that point.
Yeah. I think the AFC has the most. If I were a betting man, I think the 49ers probably are going to make it from the NFC. That's just my opinion. It's difficult for any team to win 3 games.
Yeah.
So the fact that Green Bay or San Francisco only have to play 2 games to get to the Super Bowl, I think that's the advantage San Francisco over New Orleans. I think the Chiefs will go to the Super Bowl. And the reason being, I think it's really difficult to go to those NFC championship games or AFC championship games with no experience and control your nerves. And I think, not that Lamar hasn't played in big stage games, I just think that it may be a little premature for him.
Yeah.
I hope it's a great game, but I think also, even though Lamar is special, I just think Kansas City, with their playmakers, is just going to be too much for all those teams. I think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl if you want. If I were to bet,
Oh, wow.
I think the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl.
I'm smiling so hard right now, James.
Dude, the
think
table
Mahomes
just got
is
a big
healthy.
knock.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it wouldn't surprise me if San Francisco wins either. I mean, they're very similar teams. They both have like
True.
the speed that's like different than any
I think
other
the
team
Niners
out
are like
there.
the Rams, but with a better D from last year.
Both teams.
I can see where you say that, but like, their defense is so fast, and their offensive playmakers are extremely fast too. I mean,
that's
Debo
one caveat. Like
and
that.
Mozart and
Yeah.
Kittle. Kittle,
Yeah.
he's a difference maker. I
Dude,
mean,
he
he's
runs
like
a
Gronk
4
with speed.
Yeah, and he runs a 4.5 40, and he's a tight end. So I mean, that's hard to cover in the first place. Same thing with Kelsey
And he
for the
never
most
looks
part.
like
I think.
he never thinks he's actually going to be tackled, which is a weird thing, right? Like, I think
Right.
he
Did you read
really
that article
believes-
on him on The Athletic and tackling?
Yeah.
I figured you did.
Yeah.
Can't be tackled.
The coach challenged him. He used to go out of bounds all the time. He's like, dude, just run at the guy. Trust me, they're not bringing you down. And so one day he finally did it in a preseason game, just bowled the dude over. And that's like what he's known for now, is just bowling motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Smart.
He's not even like
So
Gronk build, but he just,
He's country tough, man. Those Iowa kids.
Yeah.
just Hale and Bay.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he's from
Corn
Wisconsin.
fed.
Hale and Bay. Bale and Hay.
Kittle's actually from Wisconsin.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't get the size that he got.
Right.
Only I was drinking too many spotted cows. Stunning my growth.
Fuck, man. Could take some of those right now.
So who do you think is going to win the national championship?
Ooh.
LSU.
Yeah. I hope it's
Yeah,
LSU.
We had a preview. I think it was Chase and I, the only ones that guessed both teams correctly.
Yeah. I thought Ohio State was going to win
They
over
should've.
Clemson. They should have.
Well, so did I. They should have.
Same thing that
They got-
Michigan did. I mean, when you're playing a team like Clemson and you get down in the red zone twice and you get 6 points, you're asking to get fucking caught up on.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what
Sure.
happened to Ohio State.
Exactly.
You have to score touchdowns
Yeah,
against
you
teams
gotta
like
finish
Clemson. That easily should have been 21-0, not 13-0.
I think
And-
that's honestly the Chiefs' downfall is that Reed does not step on teams' throats. Like
Yeah.
he gets up and he just, as soon as he's up 10 points, 2 scores, he's gonna start just not playing to his
That's that
strength.
whole Bill Walsh, Mike Holmgren coach tree
Yep.
bullshit, which is the classic West Coast offense, which is we get up by 2 scores. We feel we've built our defense to prevent them from scoring quickly, and we're just going to get conservative on the clock out, which always seems to come back and bite people in the ass.
Yeah,
Fumbles.
I'm with you. I love, what was his name? Coach Mertz from the
Mike
the
Mertz?
Rams.
yeah.
Yeah, Mike
Yeah.
Martz.
Early 2000 Rams, the greatest show on turf. They would onside kick being up 42-0 was fucking awesome.
Right.
It's like watching a bad football game, but it was real.
That's great.
Right. I kind of forgot about that.
But what about you? Is LSU going to beat Clemson?
Oh, I don't think Clemson even has a shot. I think this LSU team will go down as one of the best teams ever assembled. in college football.
Offensively, I can't argue with you, man. They have so many
mean-
toys. It's insane.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase is our best wide receiver, and he hasn't even been a factor.
But to me, their defense wasn't as good as Ohio State's defense. With Chase
LSU,
Young.
I think, has had, for what they've been the last 10, maybe 15 years, as far as defense, it wasn't one of their better ones they put out. It's not bad.
They're young, though. They're secondary.
They got
a bunch of
playmakers.
sophomores.
They always got playmakers.
Yeah.
They maybe just haven't been as consistent as what you would traditionally see.
But
they got a fucking, all of a sudden, a good quarterback and they're kicking ass.
What I was going to say, the way they shut down Oklahoma, it's like, well.
And they shut down Georgia. And
Yeah.
they shut down, they kind of went on a little run here.
Peaking at the right
pretty
time.
damn good.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
Definitely want him to really smash Trevor Lawrence into the ground.
Yeah, just bust that
That
big old
dude has yet to
nose.
lose. Think about that. Like, if he wins again, if he wins another national championship, dude, is there a question who's the greatest college football quarterback of all time?
How many
Trevor
points do you think
Lawrence,
LSU will score?
49.
How many points will they score?
Yeah. Easily almost 50.
If I had to guess, I mean, it'll be over 40.
I think over 40.
Yeah, over 40.
Like 45 maybe.
You could give, plus 41.
49.
For sure.
Just give it to him. 7 touchdowns. It's not that complicated.
Shit, they've done that in a half already.
Yeah,
I mean, he already
exactly.
did that in the first.
Well, I should put up like 13 now and just get destroyed.
I've
Right.
never seen anything like that in my entire life. I
Man.
was like, what in the hell?
In a game that's supposedly competitive,
Yeah.
allegedly, something, a playoff
Oh, like,
game.
fuck the Big 12, honestly.
I know, right?
Like, they need to stop with this argument that they deserve to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Maybe every now and then, but like,
I think only like one Pac-10 or Pac-12 team has made it in once.
Yeah.
Didn't Washington make it one year?
Yep, and
that
got
was
boat
it.
raced
Yeah.
by Alabama.
Yeah.
they got destroyed.
But
too.
that was Alabama in its prime, probably. You know?
that
so
what 3-4 years ago?
at least it's probably the second playoff or whatever.
Yeah,
So
3 years ago.
yeah, as long as
It should just
two
be called
SEC.
What was
yeah,
that?
2 SEC. Throw every now and then an ACC and a Big Ten
Yeah.
and maybe a
No,
Pac-12.
no, it needs to be expanded to 8 teams.
I was going to ask, is you guys, anybody in favor of the 8-team
Oh,
playoff?
of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go past 8.
More football. Does that mean they would have like a bye week then?
What I think they should do, instead of going to an 18 playoff, is essentially just say, let's make Power 4 conferences in the conference championship as your ticket in the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you have 3 losses or 0 losses. You have to win your conference championship to get into the playoffs, and then that's how they solve that issue. The problem is like there are conferences like the ACC and the Big 12 that probably won't want to go. Well, I guess the Big 12 would be a Big 4 conference, but the ACC probably wouldn't want to go for that. The independents like Notre Dame, who have a lot of clout, even though they have no talent, wouldn't want to go for that. But
do you think
could
anything
solve a
that's
lot of
stopping them
issues.
from like that though would be that they would start competing with NFL playoffs?
I don't know.
There would nothing to
I don't think
compete.
it matters.
Well,
There
they
are
could
people-
stop
yeah.
doing the 2-week break, in between games for the most part.
Yeah, right now too. This
Sure.
is like the longest time we have to wait from the semifinals to the finals. It was like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's over 2
Sure.
weeks or whatever.
Somebody I read online was suggesting that capping teams at 11 games for a regular season.
Yeah, that could help out.
Which is tough to
Well,
do with the bigger
And again,
conferences.
you're going to have the university saying, well, I mean, that's how we need our money, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Well,
It's just, I agree, there needs to be a chance
I would
for
like a
18 to do
6-team playoff.
agree,
I
James.
think. What was James saying?
Oh, that.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead, James.
No, I wasn't.
I just wanted to say
Gotcha.
six teams would make it better. Not as good as 8, but a 6-team playoff it would be helpful because then you do get the top 4 Power 5 conferences in, then someone
then-
at large.
At least 2 at larges, yeah.
Yeah, UCF could have made it in then. Yeah,
Well, it gives a team like Oregon. It probably would have given a team like Oregon this year, who ended up being really good, just had a really bad game, and missed the playoffs. It gives a team like them, who ended up being kind of good, an opportunity.
I mean,
or a team like Wisconsin, who
Oregon
went
and
to
Wisconsin could have been the ones this year. I mean, they might not have.
Well, Wisconsin didn't win their didn't win the
They
conference,
lost the
but I mean,
conference.
like,
But just the
I
next
guess-
at-large,
Yeah.
team or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter what
If
conference they're from.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Who knows? I mean, you could have put.
Plus the 16. I like the 16 format because then it gives the incentive to finish first or second overall.
Yeah,
in the
bye.
and then the polls.
I think time-wise that becomes difficult because you don't want to bleed into NFL playoffs, and I think 16 team might.
Yeah, but the Super Bowl is not until like the middle of February.
Right, but no. The point is to not block the playoffs, which
Different days. They do them on Monday nights.
yeah, I don't know.
That'd
I
be a
know,
really
I
long
agree,
playoff
but-
though. 16, like
Yeah.
I mean, 8
No.
with the. With
I
the
don't want
NFL
16.
is a good
16 is
month.
too much. 16 is way too much.
What if you had like 5 teams,
10.
but it was like technically 4? You had a play-in game for the 4th spot.
Yeah, maybe. A 10 would be good. I think.
Yeah, I just don't want to go over 8. I just
Whatever. They need to do something.
there's usually
there's always an argument.
there's
to make
always
those playoffs.
6 teams, 8 teams. You know, there's never like a team that's 12th ranked that they're like, man, that team got hosed.
Yeah,
you know,
the
it's
10th
like-
ranked team is never going to make it to the playoffs.
unless it's like 11-0 Boise State, which whatever.
I would like to see something like that where for those other schools that aren't considered power conferences to have something to allow maybe one team out of those remaining conferences to maybe get a shot at it.
Yeah, but they have to be playing really good. They mostly have 3-star recruits. I don't know. James, you got anything else to trash talk?
Not off the top of my head. I go back to work tomorrow for the first time in like 2 weeks. So
Oh man,
Oh,
that's
that
an
sucks.
adjustment.
Fuck you.
Wait till Friday.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, there's nothing going on. I guess I'll go home. All right, guys.
yeah. See you on Monday.
Just coming to punch in my time card.
That does kind of make some sense, but
Well, I don't know what you all are up to over the next couple of weeks, but go Pack. And we don't have to watch playoff football this weekend unless we really want to.
Of course, I really want to.
You know, our teams are all in the we all have a bye, so that's kind of kick-ass.
That's
I
pretty
know,
crazy.
right?
There's
We
no
do.
Ravens fan here tonight.
oh
now.
wow.
Yeah, we do all have first round buys here.
I like the Ravens.
in this conversation, which is neat.
Told you I picked the Ravens.
Who doesn't? Who's like a Titans fan?
I know a couple
Yeah.
Titans fans.
I do
They're-
like Lamar a lot, being a big Louisville fan where he came from.
and I know a ton of Vikings fans because we're close enough to Minneapolis that
I'm going to watch,
But
but
do you-
I mean, why wouldn't you?
why? Yeah, I mean exactly.
It's like
do you,
porn.
You think the
Oh,
Tigers?
is that song?
The Tigers are going to win the college football playoffs, right?
Yes, one of the Tigers are
One of
winning.
the Tigers.
one of the Tigers.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, who
Mike
do you have?
Fitzgerald will win.
You think LSU too, James? Is that what you said?
LSU to win
I'm
national championship.
I'm worried
Chiefs
about
to
them,
win
though.
the Super Bowl.
About LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm worried.
I don't know, James. The Chiefs.
James is a
I don't know,
very
man.
smart.
I feel like you're
individual.
pandering to a certain crowd here.
No, I mean you're a 49er fan.
I know.
I could broaden nose you too.
You did. You already picked us to at least be there, so there's that. I thank you for that.
I think it would be hilarious if the Chiefs and Niners met, just because of the history of the Chiefs taking so many.
Niners.
I don't want to say
quarterbacks.
cast-offs, but quarterbacks. We've even had a lot of coaches.
That's true.
We have a lot of trades in between our teams.
And you guys have
even.
never played?
We just had a
In a
huge
Super
trade
Bowl?
in the
No.
offseason this past year. Like those
Yeah.
teams, just like for whatever reason, they have like a whole history of
Making deals.
players
But you never
and deal
play.
making and
Never play.
Little Joe Montana
I mean,
here,
we
Elvis
played,
Gurr
but
back
not the Super
there.
Bowl.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
They've worked out. I mean, you've done some good things with those.
We've gone to the
players.
playoffs with them.
Yeah.
It's like Big Brother. Yeah, I have your shirt you don't fit into anymore.
I guess. That's cute. Good to you guys feel that way.
Your sock has a hole in it.
I hope they do meet in the Super Bowl now.
I wish we had Sanders though. That's the only thing. The Packers would. There was rumor to get Emmanuel Sanders, and then the 49ers. I get that.
Packers
Yeah, you guys were
defense could take over. I just don't trust them as a team overall. I don't know. They've had too many weird wins this year.
Who's that? Green Bay.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff can only take us so long. Maybe it'll take me to the Super Bowl.
That's the only thing is the two saving graces that I said is that in all likelihood we'll play the Saints, but we'll get to play them in a cold weather game at night. Rodgers has a bye.
Zadarius is playing out of his fucking mind right now.
Their defense is really kind of playing well right now.
Both
and,
Smiths.
I mean, you don't think Aaron Rodgers is reading all this shit talk that's going on right now?
Oh,
he's not good. He's lost it. All that. That stuff just, for whatever reason, feeds him. And when it seems like I said, I don't know if you read my tweet when we played the Vikings in Minnesota. Right before the game, I tweeted out, I was like, for whatever reason, I feel like we're going to just kick the shit out of the Vikings because no one's giving us a chance. And that's when Rodgers is at his best. I think he's one of those people that needs, like, a massive chip on his shoulder to, like, say, I'll show you. When he feels comfortable, I feel like he plays lazy and doesn't, I think he relies too much on his arm talent. And obviously last week was a prime example of that game. Or of that point, which is he just relies so much on his arm talent that he doesn't play within the system. And they get into trouble. Because, again, they're professional athletes on the other side of the line of scrimmage. So regardless of what the record is, but I'm not going to bet that I'm not going to put my money where my mouth is either. I'll be cheering my ass off, but I don't have big expectations of us winning the Super Bowl this year or anything like that.
This is the first Packer team I've seen in a long time with Aaron Rodgers where Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to do everything.
That's very
true.
He really doesn't have to do anything.
Right. All he has to do is throw it to Devontae, of course, but like finally have a running game. He finally has a defense that can make some stops so he doesn't have to air it out 47 times a game. I mean, this is probably the most relaxed Aaron Rodgers going into the playoffs that we've seen. They're, I think, equally as scary as the Saints at the moment. And like you said, if they get the Saints, then that's in Green Bay. So theoretically, it could be another 49er Packers NFC champ game, which frightens me historically because Green Bay is fantastic at beating us in the playoffs. Thanks, Brett Favre.
Right. The beauty as an NFL fan, too, I mean, and this is no knock on both of your squads just because obviously they're two of the four favorites. But, like last year, it was kind of similar, too, where, you knew the Chiefs were really good and you knew the Patriots were starting to get hot, but you really didn't know what was going to happen. There's certain years where you kind of know who's going to go to the Super Bowl. Like, you have faith that maybe your team can pull off an upset, but you already know. And this one was up. I mean, but the only exception really is the Vikings-Saints game, where it's a 7.5 point favorite by the Saints. The rest of them are all basically pick 'em games.
Yeah. Like
as a betting person, like I am not betting anything this weekend because I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like.
You could probably bet Seattle and Philly because I don't think Philly's going to do anything real.
I don't know, they're scrappy as hell.
Are you gonna? Okay, so Seattle's flying to the East Coast. One knock. Two. Are you gonna bet against Carson Wentz right now? Like,
Seahawks are slumping going into the playoffs a little bit.
Yeah, they're a little dinged up, but they're still dangerous.
They're getting their safety back.
You can't sleep on Russell Wilson. I don't give a shit.
No, you can't ever sleep on Wilson.
They still gave us a game. They still.
There's no. Yeah, he's the most electric fourth quarter quarterback of all time.
Dude, he's fucking scary, and I hate it.
It's insane.
I'll be great. I will throw a party when Russell Wilson finally retires, so I don't have him in my life. He's been around since he transferred to Wisconsin and won't leave me the fuck alone. So
yeah, sure won a national championship that year.
Yeah, man, I talked about that with some friends earlier. Yeah,
Wilson.
Yeah, Russell. That Wisconsin team should have steamrolled
Think
everyone.
About that team had Bonnie Ball, Melvin Gordon, James White, J.J. Watt, Jared Everderis, Russell Wilson. Wow. The whole offensive line's in the NFL.
Yep.
And we lost 3 games that year.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have lost to Oregon that time.
Right.
Is that with Paul Chris?
That was
No,
not
that
Paul
was-
Chris. That was
yeah.
Gary Anderson. He left like the week before the Rose Bowl,
Yep.
and Barry Alvarez came out of retirement to coach it.
Yep.
Oh shit!
Yep.
Wow.
That was that game.
Did you see that meme of him hitting his grandson?
That was baller.
What is this?
Barry Alvarez,
Like,
the
get out of here! I wanna watch
old
this
coach,
football.
is sitting there watching the Wisconsin game, and his like grandson's like, "Hey, grandpa, or something," and he just like, "Get out of here, kid!" Swats his hand at him, and then the next thing, the shot you see him, like the kid's gone, the grandma's gone, he's just sitting there by himself, all pouting and shit.
Shit.
Oh man. Anyway, I talk football all night, but I don't know what you guys are doing this weekend, but you guys hit me up. Otherwise,
Watching
go Pac
football, right?
Yep. Hell yeah.
All right, James. Well,
Welcome to Trash Talk.
yeah. Thanks for calling in.
Trash Talk says goodbye.
We will talk to you guys later.
Adios.
Go back up.
See you, brother.
All right. Bye.
Later. That was our good buddy James Schoenquist, Packers fan.
Schwoquist.
Wisconsin.
Schwoquist.
It's like an S and an H and a
He's
sh
a little shrew.
and a Q U in there somewhere.
James Schwoquist.
I think there's an I in it.
I don't know. I'm mocking that internet sensation dude with cerebral palsy that he paid $25 to say his name on camera, and then
Nick
said
paid for that, right?
Oh, it was Nick. Okay, I shouldn't put that on James. Sorry, bud. I think it was Nick. No,
It's from that Cameo.com, I think.
I think it was James that did it.
No, Nick definitely originally
did
got
it?
that guy on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure.
thought it was James that did it because he had him say "fuck VTech." So
I think VTech paid the guy too to make a
Okay.
video
Oh,
because he
I'm
had that
sure.
one where he was calling out Aaron Maxwell, and I think
Okay.
James as well.
okay.
You in your stupid fantasy football league. What a loser. Fuck Maxwell.
That shit was dude, I couldn't. I had only seen that guy for maybe 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden, like, he's in our chat saying
Dude,
"fuck."
Nick was sending all those gifts, and then like a week later, he has like a personalized video made by the guy.
Fuck, man.
That's great.
I thought he was gonna. At that rate, I thought he'd get old Bassmaster. You know, like. I just saw a video with Bassmaster and Andy Milonakis.
Andy
What?
Milonakis.
Yeah, he's
My
still
God.
around doing
Old
things.
or it's new?
It's new-ish, and it's the both of them going into like a store, and Andy's acting like a kid, of course, because even at like 47, he still looks
He's
like he's
older than that now.
14. Yeah, he's old. But yeah, so it was Eddie Bassmaster or something like that. I can't remember his first name. Anyway, so like he's playing the dad, and Milonakis is the kid, and he's just like, "Hey, you fucking knock it off," you know, like yelling at him and shit, and like swatting at him. And Milonakis is kind of like doing the kid thing, like, "Oh, but I want," and he's just like, yeah. So they're doing this whole, you know, shock people in the middle of a store bit when he starts slapping Andy Milonakis around.
Nice. We're laughing at domestic abuse.
Yeah,
Faked
Beating
Fake
kids.
domestic abuse.
it's faux abuse. I don't know if that makes it any better.
Yeah,
It's
maybe.
Faux abuse.
Not
Not
for good
really.
radio problems.
It's fine. I'll cut that out.
I'll cut that out later. We may edit that.
I would beat up Milonakis.
I would
I mean-
slap Andy
I
Milonakis
mean, he
around.
kind of deserves it.
He
doesn't
looks
he?
like a guy that likes to be slapped around.
He's got a
once in while.
punchable, chubby face.
Yeah.
You know, I always think of him from Waiting too, where he's like doing whippets in the back. You know,
Yeah.
like
The bus boy.
yeah, he and
It
T
seemed
Dog.
Like that was-
Yeah.
seemed like that his real life. He was playing himself.
I feel like that's probably close to accurate. Yeah,
Probably. Especially like in Hollywood. No one would take him seriously forever. He was probably working in all sorts of restaurants.
yeah.
Well, whatever.
Fuck.
What's his thing? He is actually old, but he never like got
He was on that MTV
he never had
show.
puberty,
Yeah,
right?
he's got a like a pituitary gland disorder.
Yeah.
So he
Dude,
never.
His voice ever changed or
No.
something? Yeah,
No.
he was just always
He's just always been
minor.
small, and he's looked like he's 13.
Yeah.
Even like I said, at 47. I actually saw one of his tweets the other day as I was scrolling through his feed doing that Facebook stock thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I could. I'm gonna have to look it up now because it had something to do with the fact that he hasn't aged. I don't know. It's super funny. Not right now.
Good
Anyway,
story.
good story, Ryan.
Story.
As everyone just stopped playing. Anyway, stopped listening. I mean,
It's fine. No one's listening anyway. They will listen on the repeat. Not right now. So we covered football, college, and NFL. We talked about Xmas a little bit. We talked about the New Year's. Talking about the future.
The future of
I don't know. Future. What do you think? It's
still waiting on flying cars.
It's a whole new decade. Like what is the 2020s going to be? Is it going to be roaring? Is it going to be a recession? Go ahead and read your quote.
oh yeah, he says my family was too poor to have a video camera for home videos and memories, so I decided not to age instead.
That works.
Yeah,
That's cute.
yeah. There you go.
That's
what
something
it
a 13-year-old would say.
He's creepy looking at this age.
Damn, dude. He does look like he's still 13.
Yeah. That's like a YouTuber video game kid right there. I don't think that's even Andy.
It is, which is the crazy part of it.
Yeah.
I just saw him on I keep saying I just saw him on stuff, but what actually got me looking at his feed was that he was like with Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. Playing
From the reboot?
well, just Jay Muse,
Yeah.
who's Jay.
Well, it wasn't like making the rounds because of the reboot or whatever.
No, they were just playing video games on Jay's Twitch channel.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, Andy Milonakis, he's got a page. Holy shit. And so I clicked, and then I started scrolling because I was like, what's this guy been up to? And then I watched a video with him and Ed, the bass master, and went down that old rabbit hole.
Yeah. Sometimes that'll happen, man. It's the internet.
All right. Especially when you're on the shitter. You're just like, well, this is the same thing. Let's just keep going.
Silence. What is this?
Right.
Whole new world in here.
Someone in the stall next to me listening to that Ed Bassmaster thing. They're like, why is he listening to domestic violence videos so loudly?
So aggressively while you poop.
I know, right? Helps it move along.
Hey,
Lose something up.
whatever helps you, man.
Yeah, I guess.
Bite down something. We'll get through this together.
Well, okay, so as far as the future goes, what was, and this isn't really future related, in the last 10 years, what's something that happened that you didn't expect? You wouldn't have been able to guess.
Yeah. I guess smart technology. Did anyone think that there were going to be computers in refrigerators?
Oh, the Internet of Things?
Yeah,
is
the
that what you
Internet
call
of
it?
Things. Smart. Everything's connected to the Internet. Everything's got an IP address.
Even your fridge. Your fridge can have
Even
an
your
IP
fridge
address.
and your stove and your
Yeah.
portal and your Ring
My
doorbell.
fridge is in the cloud.
Now
Everything's on the Internet.
That's how everyone gets hacked.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah,
There's too many smart people
I'd
out
be
there to
almost-
have that many gadgets.
The government's trying so hard right now to I'll have all that data that's being collected, let it be accessible to them, which means if your fridge is a smart fridge and it's recording shit.
Well, as long as your fridge isn't contacting ISIS, the government's not going to be watching you. Your fridge
If they
starts
get access to
sending
anything they
shit
want whenever they want, though, I mean, who's to say that they're not looking for keywords and all of a sudden they come kicking down your door because I don't know.
Someone said bomb 4 times. And
Well, I don't think that would happen, but
You'd have to put
whatever's
together
going
an
on in your
impressive
house,
You'd have to
Yeah.
put together an impressive resume for something like that to happen.
Let's
you
still.
would think, but if they get probable cause
fact-
because of some audio recording they have,
Yeah, if there's an audio recording, that means it's marking things, and those markings are just kind of making a personal record. Kind of like how, even though I think it's obvious in China, how they have the social score, the United States has that. They just don't acknowledge it, the government's rating people based on what they hear through their phones.
But it's based off of the searches those people are doing.
Searches and
They don't have the manpower
you
to
have
do like this
downloaded.
massive shot.
No, it's all an
With
it's an
AI
algorithm.
technology.
It's
They
an
certainly
algorithm.
could, and they're
Yeah.
already starting to get rudimentary quantum computing happening.
Yeah.
I can put big words together too, Derek, and sound smart.
The quantum computer revolution is going to change it all.
That could happen in the next 10 years. They're already getting early versions of it.
But see, that's the thing. If it's going to happen in 10 years, doesn't that mean the military has it?
Probably.
Exactly.
Aliens. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
It's probably aliens.
Aliens.
Speaking of aliens, have you
What
guys been hearing
if-
about the drones out in like western Nebraska?
Yeah,
and, like, into
I actually
Colorado?
I had a topic today, and
I
that was
haven't
going
heard
to be
this.
my topic. Yes. So out in eastern Colorado and western Nebraska, numerous, and we're talking like legit numerous. Yeah, pull it up.
It was making national news.
Yeah,
today.
international news too.
Mhm.
Like there's been formations of 6-foot long drones flying over people's homes, farmlands, just properties in general.
the government.
And they're just hovering over these people. So yeah, you have the mysterious drone flying over Colorado.
The crazy
You have to
thing
go
is,
to the
though,
news,
it's like
yeah.
people keep trying to say it's like a surveying company. They're doing whatever, prospecting some land or getting layouts and taking because they look like they're going to these grid
There's
formations.
rumors that might
But
be one of the reasons.
With all the international news going on, why isn't some company saying, "Hey, it's us"?
Yeah.
Why isn't whoever it is speaking up?
Because I don't think it's any big corporation. I think it's just some
The government?
There's just some Joe Blows like you and I out there with pretty sweet stuff, and they're probably spying on people. I think it's just people being creepy as fuck because they
Purposely?
can. Yeah,
It's
that's
like-
my opinion.
It's like someone that dressed up in a clown outfit and go scare people.
Yes, I feel these are just people that have sweet fucking drones.
It's probably a Facebook group.
And can just go out and they're just videotaping people. And this is in the middle of the night too, so people are going out and yeah.
Why would they take place at night?
Yeah. And that's just it. People are saying like the theory that Derek just pointed out that it's people surveying the land for like natural gas or oil.
If there's
or
a resource
something
under
like
the
that.
ground, they're getting a layout. They said
Yeah.
they're flying in these grid formations that are
Yeah.
good for getting, I guess,
Yeah.
topographic information.
And depending on what technology is attached to those drones, they're either looking at you with infrared cameras or they're doing actual like
6-foot drone's pretty big,
It's a big motherfucker.
and if
man.
it's not made for hauling something, it's got a lot of other stuff on board.
One of the yeah, exactly. Well, one of the articles that I read, one of the people actually explained it. They're like, it sounded like a drone, but bigger. Like it sounded like those little drones, but it sounded like a bigger version.
Do you think it's military?
No, I just think it's some creepy motherfucker out in the middle of
30
nowhere.
drones each night, not all in the same place.
Yeah,
Wow, this is crazy.
that's an estimation, but yeah, it's
this
crazy.
is someone testing a technology, definitely.
Can I get
Yeah,
a beer,
I
Ryan?
just I just think it's someone or some people. Which one do you want?
It's a group
Blue
of
Moon.
something. People. That's crazy. I mean,
Yeah, I just think it's just fucking people with nothing better to do than spy on people.
no, I mean they're
And all
probably,
their,
they're
like-
probably testing a new technology.
In the middle of the night, man.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
that's
just
when
a,
this
a
is
night
happening.
technology though. There's probably some new infrared camera that they're trying to look at.
Yeah,
They're like, hey,
looking at people.
let's fly over these cows in western Nebraska because we know they're there.
But they're flying over homes too. They're like people are sitting on their porch and hearing the buzz of a fucking drone.
Well, they did
coming
say
at
though
them.
they were like covering like 100 miles.
One family, a boyfriend and a girlfriend, actually, they chased after one,
Oh yeah.
going as fast as 70 miles an
shit.
hour, and
They're
they
just,
followed
like,
it for
flying
15
by.
miles.
Of course, when you live in western Nebraska,
You
what
can
else
do
you
that.
gonna do?
Well, all the shit's in a grid, so you're just like.
Well, yeah, I'm
going,
saying, but you got
like,
nothing else better
left
to
and right.
do.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
You're
drones, let's follow them.
Yeah, and when
You
it
know?
races off, yeah, you go after it. And they said, yeah, they were going,
I mean,
they were
you think
chasing
about
after, trying to
how
find
far,
out where it's
how
coming.
far could they go? They
They should,
Depending,
have
these
to
big
land
ones
somewhere.
can go like a half mile.
Oh, they'd have to go more than that if they were following them, though. I'm saying,
Yeah, exactly. unless they were leading them somewhere away.
I'm sure the military's got ones that can go a hell of a lot further, whether it's battery or some sort of gas, petrol.
You spend enough money and you create a large enough radio signal. Hell yeah, you can fucking let those things travel forever.
Yeah,
and relative to what their propellers can do, if you engineer them correctly, they're not carrying that much weight, relatively speaking.
Yeah,
some of the drone aircraft they have can fly for so fucking long. I think they've had some where they've gone around the Earth like 4 times.
Oh yeah, those huge.
Yeah, they'll put like solar panels on them. I mean, that's an extreme edge case, but relatively speaking to what you can do with those propellers and those things, they're not carrying a payload of people and a huge carriage and stuff. It's just this little compact thing that's got to pull up in the air.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, football alert.
See, that's the thing too with those, though, that like those ones that go way up in the atmosphere and go around the Earth all the time, they have special cameras where they can actually zoom in on people,
Yeah, Google Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
They're getting pictures of everything.
Live shit. So maybe they're just testing new cameras at night on drones. Let's go out to Colorado, Nebraska, where not that many people are going to see us. So, cool. What football breaking news?
Husker breaking news. Outside linebacker 4-star Randolph Kapai committed to Nebraska today.
4-star.
Part of the 2021 class.
Well,
all right.
With Frost getting all these good recruits here, we better start seeing some
Obviously.
results.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, there's enough Husker fans here that with a short enough stick of patience that they'll let them know fast.
Yeah, there'll be results this next year.
Yeah, I think with as many new people, and we talked about this last time I was on, like so many new players, like it's just, you got to let all these kids get good at what they're being asked to do.
Yeah, exactly.
New staff, bunch of young kids. You basically need to turn over
a whole new system.
You need to be able to turn over at least 4 years before you really start seeing some concrete stuff, especially an overall type job like this is.
You need seniors. You need seniors that are bought in or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a couple that probably have transferred with Scott now, but still. That's good. I haven't paid attention to much recruiting at all. Is there more 4-stars? Because I thought there was one. A wide receiver 4-star or something?
That's committed recently?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't... Well...
or maybe it was
there was a 4-star receiver from Nebraska here in Omaha.
Oh, the Bellevue one.
Yes.
Dude.
He...
decommitted.
No, he committed.
I thought he went somewhere else then, or was going to go look at some other places.
He was academically not sure about if he could enroll early during this early signing period that was back in December.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he got the good grades that he needed and was able to sign his letter of intent to come to Nebraska.
You mean the good enough grades?
Pretty much. Lincoln doesn't ask that much of you. I mean, just enough. I mean, they want you to be challenged mildly.
Do you have
and then
to
you're
get up
in.
and show up?
Lincoln has some awful school test results. Pretty sure
It's not Michigan, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Or Northwestern, or Wisconsin. Wisconsin, man, actually, one of the things that made, not to keep jumping all over the place, but one of the things that, outside of not being able to be given enough money to pay his assistants, one of the reasons that old Paul Blart, that's what I call him anyway, what's his name?
Chris?
No, who went down to Arkansas for a little bit. Gosh, why is his name escaping me? This sucks.
Not Bobby Petrino.
No, Wisconsin coach that beat Nebraska in the Big Ten championship game with a 7-5 team. Dang it!
That guy.
Anyway,
with
Polini. So that with Polini, yeah. Gosh, dang it. Anyway, forgot where I was going with that. That sucks now.
Well,
shit.
That sucks. Way to leave the audience hanging like that.
Yeah.
Can you hit rewind?
Anyway, we're talking about Nebraska fans not accepting coaches, build their team, and get to where they need to get to. We'll get there. Nebraska's getting there. They're working on it.
I felt like the optimism I'm getting from you guys right now is similar to what I heard from last year. Where it was like, we tore off a bunch of wins towards the end of the year last year, and we never went on a tear at all this year.
No. We were just kind of consistently inconsistent, There was nothing... There was some shining diamonds in the rough, but nothing like...
I think people are excited to see McCaffrey, and...
Yeah, I'm hoping
I'm
for...
not sure what else there is.
A mix-up at quarterback next year. I'd like to see, more...
Maybe recruits, I guess. We have
dual
a good
threat,
class.
You get some wildcat in there. If you got a different quarterback every series, that can really, be hard to play against.
I'm kind of curious about when Frost his first year, all those freshmen that sat that year. With this recruiting class, how many people is he going to have sit? And how many people is he going to try and put in right away?
That's a very good question. Probably just depends on practice and how that all shakes out,
Yeah.
Spring games and
How many
whatnot.
recruits will be there for the red and white games? It's pretty damn early in the spring, isn't it?
I feel like it's in April. Somewhere, probably around April. When's the combine?
I think that's April as well.
Yeah, I
the
think
draft is at the end of April, so the combine's probably early April.
I feel like it's around the same time sometimes. Sometimes
It's not too long after they have
sometimes.
the. Well, don't they have some type of the Senior Bowl? That's well after the national title game. When is that? I know it's a big draw for all the recruiting people.
Usually not until February. You were
game.
mentioning about when the
draft
spring
and
game.
the draft and the combine is so the draft is usually about the middle of April, and then the combine's a month before that.
So the spring game must be more closer to the draft.
Spring games usually around April. It's been played in May too a couple times.
Yeah. Okay.
It just depends on when coaches want to start.
They always try and find a good weekend too. Seems like.
Yeah. It also depends on when
They're allowed
finals
to.
are too, because what Scott and previous coach and staffs have done is they've actually split it, so they'll do 2 weeks, and then finals hit, and then they're done for a week, and then they come back 2 more weeks or 3 more weeks, and then spring game.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah, you get a little break in between there, and then they come back kind of refreshed a little bit. It's probably a good idea.
Get a little high. Get a little drinking in Lincoln, Those football players, they get away with fucking everything.
Yeah, remember that time Ndamukong Suh hit some cars?
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah,
He
not
saved the life
one.
of a dog.
Swerved it from a dog.
Took out 2 blocks, swerving away from a dog.
Yeah,
Jesus, in a big old Land Rover.
yeah. I thought it was a huge view.
Oh yeah, he owned it personally too.
Weird.
Yeah, how the hell did he afford a Land Rover? I never thought of that.
It was a
part of it.
loaner.
It's worked out well for a lot of universities in the past. High Oklahoma. Remember that shit?
Oh yeah, we've talked about that.
So
Working
many
on the
different sports
car lot.
teams in college. I'm still waiting to find out, with all the college basketball stuff that happened, like Louisville and Adidas and Nike.
Yeah, they haven't
and,
even come out with that yet.
Oh, well, so when they were
Some
first announcing the
sanctions?
investigation stuff and the first few schools that have gotten busted so far,
Creighton.
I was reading a whole bunch up on some stuff, and they're saying it might
Really?
even be going over into other sports, not just basketball, football, tennis, a whole bunch of crazy shit.
Sounds about right.
But all those people though are in cahoots with the major athletic apparel companies.
Is this about the kids or whatever?
So sports in the youth leagues has basically been corrupted by major athletic apparel companies, and they get in these special leagues that aren't district specific or school, any of that shit. It's just if you're good enough, you can get on a team.
A Nike team.
Yeah, those teams are all sponsored by companies. A Nike team, an Adidas team. Before Louisville ever got busted, Patino, their head coach at the time, was bitching about that shit, saying I can't not legally. I can't recruit a guy from this team because he's a Nike school and Louisville's an Adidas school. I can only recruit from certain places. And he goes, it's just ridiculous. And then 2 years later, they get in trouble for some shit. related to that, and all these other teams are starting to get in trouble. Kansas got in trouble, but they haven't even had their punishment yet, I don't think. They have some crazy stuff going on.
What's the problem, though? What did they do
Major
wrong?
athletic apparel companies are basically funneling kids to the schools that they want.
Oh.
It's like a mafia, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Directing where these youths go. But something interesting that's been happening, though, is because college, right now, the NBA has a one-and-done rule. Like, you need to go to college for at least a year before we'll draft you, or there's some stipulations about playing internationally.
Isn't that the NBA rule?
Yep, the NBA. And then there's a lot of students now that, not a lot, but it's happening more and more, and it's starting to kind of get to a tipping point where they're actually playing internationally instead of collegiately and then going to the NBA. And it hasn't really hurt their draft stock a whole lot or anything. So it's kind of like, well, why not go pro in a different country, make money, get the experience that professional teams want to see, and then come back to the States and play the NBA.
Don't waste your time with college.
And I think the NBA is now talking about getting rid of the 1 year minimum rule because I'm pretty sure it has to do with that.
Yeah,
honestly,
because they can't get rid of. Oh well, we still want international guys or whatever.
Yeah, they're not gonna be able to say, well, you got to play, however many years international. I don't know, because you're messing with another country.
Yeah,
that's they're not the United States government.
They're also appealing to China.
A business within the United States.
They got to appeal to China, make that China money, right?
That's the thing, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I'm not that big into the NBA. I'm just a little enough to get by.
Yeah, and I knew that the NCAA was freaking out on, or not. People were freaking out about the NCAA in basketball for some teams.
Whatever happens with this big, college sports corruption scandal, I haven't read anything about it for a little while now, and I hope it doesn't go away. But some of the early stuff I was reading was basically saying like the NCAA could potentially just be like done away with,
dismantled.
At the NIT, that was what was the NCAA before the NCAA, and they got busted for big gambling stuff in like the 50s, maybe 40s.
No shit.
Yep.
And then the NCAA came out of that, and effectively the same thing's happening out at the NCAA.
Yep.
And then you got the whole issue now with California is going to start paying their athletes.
Yep. And not only like they have to.
And what happened? The NCAA said, then you can't be in a championship game. And they said, okay, we're still going to get the best recruits because guys want to get paid. So go ahead, bring on the talent.
It's like, okay, challenge
2
accepted.
weeks later, the NCAA was like, okay, if states
you know what?
allow it,
We've noticed that times are changing, and it's best if we go about making it so
in 2028 we start paying people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you finally got fucking strong-armed. You didn't decide that this was the right thing to do. Otherwise, you'd have done it fucking 5-6 years ago. They basically waited for, a state to put something into law,
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything, though, about the students that play in the NCAA getting paid by anything related to the NCAA. I think they just have to, if they do like an autograph signing, they're allowed to do that and get paid for it.
Correct. It's not like,
something happens, a sponsorship.
They're not making universities pay these players. They're just basically saying that if they go out and they do something with their likeness, they can get paid for it. Fuck off, NCAA.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course that should be a thing too, obviously. Yep. But honestly, the NCAA should be paying off.
They're making those kids are making the NCAA a shitload of money, and they're making those coaches a shitload of money. They're making those universities a shitload of money.
Most of those
they need a little bit of that.
Coaches are like the most highly paid people in the state, right?
Yeah. Read a stat today that the 4 coaches in the college football playoff, they collectively make $26.2 million this year. The 50 governors of the United States make a collective $6.2 million.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Wow.
follow the money,
right?
That's
where the popularity is. So you pay the popularity, but at the same time, like something's generating that amount of income, and it's those players putting in all that work.
That's why you
day
watch.
In and day out. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Tune in next year.
But they get a free tuition and room and board.
Yeah. They got education.
But they're not allowed to get a job like every other kid that goes to college.
You can get a job. It's just hard to do the Well, that's
they can.
One thing they do around schools. My uncle was in college basketball coach, and you hear some crazy stories about some of those teams. And I'm sure a lot of them. The kid works down at the auto dealership, and they just show up for like half an hour and leave, but they're getting paid like for 20 plus hours of work.
It depends on the degree too. So some of those kids just don't have time because if they're trying to be a doctor and start at middle linebacker, I mean, there's no time to go get.
Well, I mean, that's few and
How
far between.
many
You're probably
are
not a
like
major
that?
college if you're doing that. I mean, that stuff
It
has
happens
happened.
a lot.
There's that roll guy that came out of Florida State that was
Marlon.
was it who was a Rhodes Scholar to Oxford University. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen in major college teams, but it's usually if you're a major college athlete, you're probably not majoring in being a doctor,
focused on
some sort of
athletes.
medical sense.
Nebraska's had quite a few players doing that. Where
Do they play,
They're
though?
trying to be a doctor at the same time.
They were probably walk-ons.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, walk-ons,
scholarship
they'll get
kids.
some spot play at the end of a game if it's a blowout.
First person that comes to mind is Sean, not Lee, because that's the dude from fucking
Cowboys.
the Cowboys. But Nebraska had a 6'6" linebacker. I can't remember his last name, but his first name was Sean, and he was.
Oh, I'm saying guys that are like
he was a pre-med student.
really
One of
going
the-
to be professional. They're not majoring in
nurse.
something like that.
Wasn't one of the Longs like Spencer Long?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
One
man.
of them, I think, was also
Richie
Maybe.
Incognito, probably.
Jesus Christ,
Not him.
doubt that.
You heard he was trying to cut his dad's head off after he passed away. He probably wanted to be a medical kid.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's
Studying
probably,
anatomy.
He's probably just gone hunting a lot. So
Or
it's-
he's just insane.
yeah, there's that too.
Insane, probably.
A little bit of that.
I think he had early symptoms of insanity when he was in Nebraska.
Well, dude, he and his dad
did-
would get in fights at bars in Lincoln
I'm not
when they were.
surprised.
That,
That
I mean,
doesn't
that's one of the
surprise me
reasons
at
why I
all,
got
yeah.
kicked off the team was getting in a fight.
Is he from Nebraska?
He played at Nebraska.
I know he played in Nebraska.
No. I think he's a West Coast kid, but his dad moved out to Lincoln.
Sounds like he's
Was.
from Florida, honestly.
Florida man.
Yeah, he could be a Florida
He could be a
man,
Florida
you
man.
know?
Yeah.
If he hadn't gone and played football in Nebraska. All right, well. Any other last trash talks?
Oh, we had that story that happened in Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
Not Iowa or Nebraska.
Did you see this?
The meth.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know it yet.
It was the meth.
Don't ruin it.
Oh,
Oh, actually,
Yeah, he's been waiting.
Derek
he,
told
he-
me.
He doesn't know about it yet. So.
I don't know anything about the story. He's on meth, though.
I don't know if that's what we're talking about. So
It's what I posted on
Clearly,
Facebook earlier
I mean,
today.
If
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
Nebraska,
you
Iowa,
said,
or
oh,
it's
some
meth
guy
sometimes.
in Missouri, and I'm like, oh, definitely meth, because we're talking about Missouri, and they're the kings of methamphetamine.
Well, no, that's South Dakota.
them too.
They're on it. You haven't seen that, like,
Oh, yeah.
that,
But I
Yeah.
got it.
All right. Carjacker on meth abducts man and his pet goat from a Missouri adult store.
what?
Yeah.
Adult store?
So is that out by Springfield then?
No, it's in Missouri. I think.
Well, yeah,
I think it was
Springfield, Missouri. That's what I'm
Okay.
talking about. There's
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of adult stores on I-44 if you've
The-
ever taken that interstate. A lot.
Someone carjacked a car.
He was arrested in Oklahoma, but they sped out of Missouri.
Then yeah, he was definitely in the Springfield area. If that's the
Yeah,
case,
not that
that's
far.
fucking funny. There are a ton of adult stores. That's all they do is they go to church and jerk off.
But
Bible
this
Belt,
is
man.
Not at the same time.
Bible
But
this is
Belt.
the part though that
true.
confuses me. You know, criminals are going to crime, right?
Yeah.
That's what they do. But the victim, quote unquote, like
Was a criminal? 'Cause he was fucking the goat?
no, yeah. Why the fuck was the victim at an adult store with a
with
goat?
a goat, yeah, there's definitely questions
Well,
unanswered
maybe
there.
he just... Was it like an adult store gas station?
I don't know, man. It just says
Shit.
adult store, and the dude had a goat with him.
A pet
I'm
goat.
worried about the goat.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like his dog and it's not that deep.
Well, and
Yeah, it's like an emotional support goat.
if you're going to carjack someone, too, why wouldn't you kick the guy and the goat out? Right?
Surprised the goat. If the goat was a dog, he would have defended thy honor. But since he's a goat,
Since
he was
he's a
just
goat.
like, "Meh,
Whatever.
whatever.
Yeah, I'll just eat this car seat.
I'm gonna continue eating this. Thanks.
Something.
You guys figure it out up there. I'm gonna eat this back seat.
Yeah, was that?
This happened in Carthage, Missouri.
Yeah, so that is
Springview, Oklahoma, I think is what it was called, where he got pulled over.
Yeah, so that's like
something.
by Joplin. That's that's west of Springfield by about 30, 40.
Corner of Missouri or whatever.
Yeah, so like if you take the highway from Kansas City and just keep going south, and you've almost hit Arkansas, that's Carthage. That's Joplin.
Oh wow.
And Springfield. Yeah, so that's definitely Southern Bible Belt adult bookstore every
Goat
2
loving
exits.
Neighborhood.
Squeal, boy.
That's a pig, you guys. Do you think the guy knew him and the goat? Like,
Dude, I bet that goat would.
No,
fuck him
he
up.
was like the dude that the actual criminal in this case. Under the law, he had a bunch of prior convictions.
so how
and
did they
felonies.
get caught?
I think what I read earlier was that when the guy let him and his goat out, they
Ran
called
somewhere.
whatever their OnStar shit, and they slowed the car down to 15 miles an hour, and they had a super slow car chase until they shredded the tires, and the guy was later caught in like a bunch of grass. He was trying to lay down flat.
Run away.
Jeez.
Nice.
He tried to run away after only going 15 miles an hour. Good grief.
Yeah.
You're dealing with world-class intelligence.
At that point, you're
He's a
like,
criminal.
I'm caught. There's a helicopter
I'm
swirling.
not gonna say I've never had crime in my life.
Yeah, right. But
I'm not like that type of crime. Come on now.
you've never had a
I never
low-speed
got
chase.
cat.
You've never done a low-speed chase and then try to hide when they clearly can see you run into that ditch over there.
With the helicopter above.
Is that? Do you have a favorite high speed chase you've ever seen before?
Yeah. Okay, so I was
Yeah,
actually momentarily.
Everyone does. Kind of thing.
So I've been involved in, I would say, 2 high-speed car chases in my life.
Oh, involved.
Yes. One was me being chased by another guy in high school. Another one was my freshman year of college. I was in Atlanta, and there was a high-speed chase right when I was emerging from one interstate to another, and they had to have had at least 20 cop cars tailing, and it just flying in and out of traffic. Like they had to have been going 120 or more. It was insane.
Wow. That's cool.
I would say that one or the one I was in high school was my favorite.
You never saw one on TV and were like, that was cool.
Well, I mean, I remember OJ.
Yeah.
Well, there's that one. That's
I mean, that wasn't cool.
the most
I watched
infamous
cops.
one.
Come on, I grew up.
Well, so you don't have a favorite cop?
I don't remember specific cops. I mean, they're all the
Okay.
same. A car's trying to get away. A guy runs out, gets tackled later on, maybe tasered a little bit.
Yeah. Ryan, do you?
Yeah, I've seen. I like the one. I couldn't tell you where he is, but it's a high-speed chase, and the car somehow ends up upside down in a tree because it goes into a ditch and then got.
Oh,
weird.
nice. Did he crawl out and
It
try
was
to run?
in a small pickup truck, no less. So had the weight of a
Some
skittle.
Arkansas shit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. The windy roads and shit, but
Iowa,
no,
Nebraska.
I've seen one live a few Christmases ago. Actually, I was driving out to Wahoo because we were gonna have Christmas at my my wife's grandma's house. And on our way out there, we had to pull off to the side of the road because we saw lights. But what we didn't realize is that there was a fucking flash of white that went right by us when I realized there were lights behind us, and that's because some dude was doing like 130 miles an hour.
So he passed you or whatever?
Yeah, basically.
Huh.
Like coming up on us, so we were pulling off to the side because we saw the lights, but we didn't realize that right behind that dude was a speeding vehicle.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that was pretty crazy. So you just boom, and before you knew it, they were gone.
Yeah.
But
That's the crazy stuff in that stuff. You've been in the same situation. Like when they're trying to get away, they're going as fast as they feel comfortable going.
yep.
And you already got the adrenaline going, and you're probably going faster than you would normally go. Outside of just general speeding, if I was to go as fast as I was comfortable going,
Yeah.
free of consequences, they're going beyond that for
Sometimes
themselves.
you just really want to get away,
Well, yeah, but the point being, though, when the lights are going off and all that shit, usually, the lights are going behind me, I'll pull over. But no, it's like lights are behind you, gone. And you're
Yeah.
just like, shit, dude, if anybody would have hit me, you don't even have time to react hardly, depending on your vantage point when it's coming up.
Yeah. I feel like you've got to be in some pretty deep shit if you're trying to outrun a cop car, which is pretty much suited to take on basically anything but a motorcycle or crotch rocket.
Yeah.
Or
So
some super Italian car.
I don't know if I have a favorite car chase. First of all, I've never seen one in real life. I don't remember one from Cops, but when I was working at the TV station, they would put them on the air. They would interrupt fucking let's make a deal or whatever to put the chase on the air. And this guy kind of got away from some cop cars and was out in the desert, and there was a helicopter following him, and his car got stuck in the sand, so he bailed out and was running through these dunes or whatever. And it was live on national TV, just pulls out a gun and
Oh, damn.
blows himself away.
Jeez.
Yeah. And we were watching it, and we were oh my God, that just went out on air. Cut the feed or whatever now. It's already too late, but still. And it was just crazy that, fuck. You don't see it happen like that,
Right. They normally just end with them submitting, and then
was the thing.
Cops surround them, and then that's
Six
that.
knees in the back.
I remember
Yeah.
we were all sitting around in the control room and oh, he's done for it. He's done for it. Here the cops come. He's going to sit down at any moment and just give it. Nope. It happens so fast. You're what has he got? Oh, a gun. But oh, shit.
Yeah. Wham.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wham, bam, thank you, man.
Exactly. So, don't want to end the podcast on a down subject like that, but
Here we are.
Here we are at the end of the podcast.
So Wisconsin's coach I was thinking of, that was Brett Bielema. It only took me about 15
we
minutes
go.
to get to it. Yeah.
That name does sound familiar.
Yeah.
What happened to Bo? Youngstown didn't make a bowl game.
Youngstown doesn't go to bowl games. They go to playoff games because they're in D2.
That's true, but they didn't make their playoffs.
He made it to the championship game his first year, 5 years ago, but he hasn't. I don't think he's sniffed the championship game
And we're
since.
probably almost done paying
Probably
him.
still getting paid. Yeah, I was going to say, he's doesn't give a fuck.
I think we're done paying him down.
Yeah, I
We're-
would say
all
this
of our
had to have been
coaches
the
are off the
last
hook
year.
now.
Even
All
Riley?
of them? I thought we were still paying.
We actually
them.
paid Riley in advance to get him gone.
Well, their former
How I read
athletic AD guys.
I think he's.
I thought there were still some people who were still paying for some stuff.
Not that I'm aware of.
Tommy Frazier's still getting paid.
Well,
That's different though.
yeah, he cracks 25 a autograph. So fuck that shit. Fuck that guy and his thoughts sometimes.
Tommy Frazier?
Yeah. Did you see what he was tweeting after
I
we
don't
lost
follow him
Iowa?
on Twitter. No, I have
Yeah.
no idea.
He this was kind of a point of contention for a lot of Husker fans. So he tweeted out that he wasn't going to watch Nebraska play until they won a bowl game. And that he feels that and he said that some people think we have the answer, but that's not known at this time, in his opinion.
Have the answer to win.
That's
the right
Scott.
coach?
Correct.
I feel like he's just being a little fucking bitch about it. Well, no one asked me to coach
He's
Huskers.
he's the last person that should be coaching.
Didn't he try doing coaching
He
for a
coached
while?
at Doane, which is an
Yeah.
NAIA school,
for
and
a year.
2 years, and he tried to run it like a D1 program, and not just a bunch of podunk white kids out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Didn't work out. He ended up getting fired after 2 seasons. I don't know if he won a game or more than one game.
Probably just pissed off everybody.
Yeah. Pretty much burnt every bridge out there in the middle of nowhere, Crete, Nebraska.
Yeah, try to act like a big thing, and you're like, dude,
Yeah,
you're in Crete, Nebraska.
You're in NAIA conference.
Yeah.
You're not.
These are kids who just like
division.
playing sports and they're in college. And
It's essentially
they play
intramurals.
sports.
You know,
Damn near. Yeah.
yeah,
Fancy intramurals with uniforms
a
as
flag
opposed to just
football
t-shirts.
team would probably be better.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people were fucking giving the jokes to him after he came out with that tweet, talking about his Doane days. They went to that right away. But so yeah, Tommy's while he's got all the right in the world to express his opinion on Husker football and where its status is, if he's gonna all of a sudden jump ship after 2 seasons, maybe he should just stop talking about Nebraska altogether.
Yeah, maybe because he just I got fired after 2. Let's fire him after 2.
Yeah. He probably shit. That's probably true. He's a little salty.
Yeah,
This dude's not got a winning record yet, and he's the savior. Pfft. But again, 2 seasons.
yeah. Fuck it. I think he needs 10.
Unless you're a rotten sack of shit, you shouldn't get fired after 2 seasons.
Yeah.
In
in college. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I think there's a point there.
I guess, yeah. And then
You can't even run our upper level intramural team.
Fuck though, you're in a small town like that. You just, you clearly piss someone off, if not everyone off. You know.
Yeah,
You can piss someone off and be fine.
I think he was really bad with the players too. Like there was that.
The
that
players
aspect.
like petitioned against him or something.
Yeah, just they straight up hated him.
Yeah.
So it
Probably
became
didn't
a
even
point
play.
where
They still have a team.
I believe so.
Yeah.
It's not talked about as much, but
Wayne State still has a team.
yeah. Well, Wayne State, is that NAIA as well or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But their rugby is they're like national champions of rugby.
No shit.
Yeah.
They have like one of the biggest rugby tournaments there every year, and you get teams like Michigan and shit going out
To middle of nowhere, Nebraska.
To Wayne, Nebraska.
to play rugby.
And Wayne will beat them.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's cool. It's a fun time.
That's when they always have the toga party.
Yeah. It was.
Was it the Forum where it was at?
No, I think that place was called Riley's?
No. It wasn't Riley's. It was like you'd never go there until it was toga party time.
Yeah, it was the dance club.
Riley? I don't remember being at Riley's. Maybe.
I've never been to this
The
town.
only time I ever actually planned to
You
go
don't know
was
so
when I passed out and you and Dan took all those goofy pictures with me, stacking shit on me in
You
college.
went.
You went to Wayne State too?
I woke up after you guys stacked all that shit on me.
I met Derek in Wayne State.
Yeah.
No shit. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple Wildcats.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But we didn't play rugby or football.
We played pot.
Yeah. And beer.
You played putt-putt?
And MIPs.
And
DUIs.
yeah.
All right, Ryan. Well, thanks for joining us on the New Year podcast.
Thanks for having me. I love being asked to come on here and forget things that I was going to talk about. So
Yeah. Well,
or that I was talking about. That's always fun.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the
when
group.
you forget a
we
name,
all do that.
When you forget a name, man, it ruins your whole thought process.
It's
but anyway,
fine. The listeners understand.
They don't give a shit.
Care. Go fuck.
No, thanks for having me. This is always a blast, and we talked more than just football, so that's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks,
all
guys.
around. Thanks, Derek, again for joining us.
Thanks. Lean, right. Yep.
I'm not gonna tell either of you to fuck off because Chase isn't here. So
Fuck off, Chase.
Fuck off, Chase.
No, fuck off, Chase.
Good
Love
night,
you, buddy.
Good night, Omaha.